Okay, in this topic, we are going to cover gathering support materials. So you are going to learn how to gather materials for the content, speech content for your assessment. Okay, so the first one, you can use your own knowledge and experience. The first, this is the most important, I think the most important and reliable sources, also reliable sources, because you are using your own knowledge and based on your personal experience. Okay, so everybody is an expert on something. Okay, definitely you are good in doing something. Okay, you have certain sets of skills in each of you. So we can name it like video games, childcare, backpacking, or cooking. Okay, so we often speak best about subjects with which we are familiar with. Okay, so that is why many teachers encourage you to capitalize on your own knowledge and experience to develop your speech topics, to choose your topic for the speech. So when you choose topics from your own experience, you may be tempted to depersonalize by relying solely on facts and figures from books and internet. Okay, so such outside information almost always necessary, but supplementing it with a personal touch and can really bring your speeches to life. Okay, when we listen to a personal story about your own self, okay, based on the true stories, we the audience tends to focus more, okay, to wanted to listen more about your speech. Okay, you felt, did, saw and heard whatever you are speaking about. Next is using library research. Library research is through librarians. I think you can still contact your librarians in the college if you want to look up for certain sources to locate or to track down specific piece of information. So you can contact librarians in KPM BP. So they are expert in their own field, trained in library use and research methods. Next is a catalog. So what is a catalog? It is a list of all the books, periodicals and other resources owned by the library. So catalog belongs to the library. So although there are many different computer systems for library catalogs, most allow you to search for books by author, title, subject and also keyword. So catalog also tells you whether the book you want is available or is already checked out. Okay, once you call the number, you all have to do is find the right section of the shelf and retrieve your book. So this is when you are in college, so you can find it yourself, the catalog, when you have the reference number and so on. So you go to the shelf and find the book yourself. Next is reference work. So reference works, there are a few under reference work. Okay, so this topic is a famous topic to be asked in the final exam as well. So please pay attention. The first one is the encyclopedia. So encyclopedia is a general encyclopedia. So the famous is Encyclopedia Britannica, but there are also special encyclopedias that covers their fields in more depth. Okay, and next is these are frequent use encyclopedias for your information, just for your information. Okay, next we have yearbook. Besides encyclopedia, we also have yearbooks. Okay, by the name itself, yearbooks are published annually. Okay, because it's yearbook. Contain amazing amount of current information would otherwise be impossible to track down. Okay, the two most valuable yearbook are Facts on File and World Almanac and Book of Facts. Okay, next is quotation books. Besides, you can search quotation on the internet. We do actually have a quotation books. Okay, so the best known collection of quotation is Bartlett's Familiar Quotation with more than 25,000 quotation, historical and contemporary figures. Okay, and then what else? We have biographical aids. Biographical is about a person, right? When you need information about people in the news, so you can use biographical aids. to look for the person that you are looking for. You can turn to one of the many reference works that contain brief life and career facts about temporary men and women. So the most popular biographical aids are published by Who's Who, produce titles as International Who's Who in America. Okay, next is newspaper and periodical database. Newspaper and periodical database allow you to find out articles in thousands of publications. For example, Time, Atlantic, the New York Times, the Star, the New States Times. Okay, we have in Malaysia. You can type subject in your database search box and citation for articles. Periodical database is journals, articles, and so on. Okay, in some case, you may get an abstract of the articles. Okay, instead of the full articles. When you are referring to periodical database, do not rely on the abstract only. Okay, you should read the full articles. Okay, this one. Abstract is only the summary of the article, so you should go to the full article and read as a whole. Exact database you can use will depend on what is available through your library. This one is through library. You can check with our own librarians, what kind of periodical database that we have. Okay, next is academic database. Academic database means that the research paper, action research made by people around the world, okay, at college and university around the world. Expert are researching almost every aspect of the natural world and human society. So the best place to find scholarly research is in the following: that academic database. For example, Info, Track One File, Gestor, and Google Scholar. The most famous is and easy for you to look into is a Google Scholar. Okay, you can narrow down your search by author, publication, date, and subject matter. Okay, next is searching the internet. And this is, I think, overall, all of you are going to use is searching the internet. You're going to use Google search engine. The key to finding materials on the internet. Everything is there, right? Everything that we need from A to Z. You can look into the search engine. Okay, the most widely used by far is Google. You can Google images, videos, news, blogs, and finance, almost everything. Okay, so these are tips for you to use Google. Okay, if you are looking for information about sports injuries or any other things, you can type the following entry into Google search box. Okay, open inverted comma. For example, college cheerleading, close inverted comma, and then the plus symbol. And then sports injury, okay, open and close inverted comma. So you can actually narrow down the search to what you are going to find out. Okay, narrow down. These are one of the tips you can use. Next is specialized research resources. Through virtual libraries, we can also we also have virtual libraries. Okay, you can just type virtual libraries. Okay, one result of their effort is virtual libraries. Combine internet technology with traditional library. So virtual library is a combination of internet technology with traditional library methods of accessing the data. These are examples. I'm not sure whether you can access it or not, but you can give it a try. Or you can just Google the best virtual library in the world to see the recent updates on it. Okay, next is government resources. If you were talking about something related to government, Malaysian government, you can use the government resources. A great strength of the internet as a research tool is the access to provide to government documents and publication. For example, you want to find out how many people in Malaysia, the current statistics, and so on. Okay, this one is USA government, special extract, census, or fact book. Okay, next is special case of Wikipedia. You can also use Wikipedia as your reference, as a source of your reference to gather your information. Okay, with more than 18 million articles, it's the biggest encyclopedia. also known as Encyclopedia in Human History. Okay, but Wikipedia is a reliable source. Several years ago, it was not. There are some issues with Wikipedia, but today, it is a reliable. Ratings are as high as those for print encyclopedia. Okay, so it is reliable source. Okay, next is evaluating internet documents. Okay, once you have found the documents or the information from the internet, next is to do is for you to identify or evaluate whether the document is reliable or not. Okay, whether it's up to date or not. Okay, first of all, we can look at through the authorship. Who is the author of the articles? Who write about it? Okay, is the author of the web document you are assessing clearly identified? Okay, can he or his data and opinion be accepted? Okay, you should not cite an electronic work in the absence of this information. Okay, you should know who is the author. Okay, next, if you can't find information about the author in the document itself, look for the link for the author's homepage. Okay, or you can Google the name of the author on the another site that explains the author's credential. Okay, just to check this person is real and exists. Okay, often you can learn about the author by typing this one. Okay, accepted authority, like what I said just now. Okay, next is sponsorship. Many web documents are published by business, government agencies, and also public interest group. Okay, so impartial enough to cite in your speech. One way to gauge the credibility of an organization is to type the name into Google. The sponsor, who sponsor? For example, she did a sponsorship deal with Adidas. Adidas is a established brand, right? Usually sportsmen were sponsored by Adidas. If the sportsmen were writing articles about health, about sports, vitamins, taking supplements, so you can believe that person by looking at who sponsored the articles. Okay. Next, recency. Recency is the date of the publication. One of the advantages of using the internet for research is more recent information that you can find. Okay, you can look at the date of the publication, the published date for the article. Okay, so the best way is look at the copyright date, publication date, or date of the last revision. Usually at the top or bottom of the documents. Okay, next you can also gather supports materials, gathering the materials for your speech by interviewing. Okay, if you like to do this, you can do so, but you must know what are the things that you should do before, while interviewing, and after the interview. So what you must do before the interview? You define the purpose of the interview. You set the objective. Why you need to interview that person? Okay, who you want, and decide who you want to interview. Next is arrange the interview. Okay, you arrange the interview, plan when, the time, the venue, the date. Okay, and decide whether to record the interview or not. Okay, so while interview, you take notes by hand. So prepare a recording device. Okay, and then prepare the questions. Okay, you should devise questions that are sensible, intelligent, and meaningful to the interviewee. Okay. Next, during the interview, what you must do, so dress up properly and be on time. Don't let the interviewee wait for you. Okay, repeat the purpose and meanings that you said to them. What is the purpose, objective of the interview? And then you set up the recorder. Keep the interview on track. Okay. And then listen carefully while during the interview. You should listen attentively, not doing something else, typing on your keyboard or anything else. You just need to listen, have an eye contact. Okay, ask for clarification if you don't understand on the certain input. given by the interviewee. Don't overstay your welcome. So you have this, decided on the time frame, right? So don't go beyond that. Okay, and then when it's over, make sure you say thank you to the interviewee. Okay, next, after the interview, what you must do, so you review back the notes so that you will not left out any important points. Okay, and then transcribe the material from recording to the notes. Okay, transcribe one by one. Okay, so I think that's all. So this is a resource. The information for gathering supports materials are from Lucas, The Art of Public Speaking. Okay, thank you.